the simple answer, and it really is not a simple question, but the simple answer is that when you are the buyer and you come to a closing to purchase your property, you are going to bring one check. That check will include the rest of the down payment that you have not already made in deposits, and what's called prepaids and closing costs. Right before your closing, your attorney will give you a detailed list of what those closing costs are going to be, and that, therefore, the exact dollar amount of the check that you're going to bring. So let's just say, based on your purchase contract, you need to bring $10,000 more to the closing as to fill out the rest of your down payment. You may be bringing a check for $10,000 plus $4,250.27. I'm just making up numbers, but you're going to bring an odd amount to cover your prepaids and closing costs. These are costs that have accrued to you for purchasing this property, but that you don't have to pay for until you get to the closing table. All right, just generally speaking, what are the kinds of things that are included? The easiest one is the attorney's fee. The attorney will have told you ahead of time what his or her fee is going to be for the closings. The attorney will have ordered a title search to make sure that the seller really has full rights to sell you this property. Let's see, your lender will have ordered an appraisal. You'll need to pay for the appraisal. Now, there's another category that's more in the category of what we call prepaids. Let's suppose that in the town in which you are purchasing, people pay their property taxes, usually twice a year, for the 6 months that are coming up. In that case, unless you close on the day that the property taxes are due, when you take ownership of the property, the seller will have already paid the property taxes for the next several months. If that's the case, then you will have to reimburse the seller for the taxes that they already paid on the property that you're about to take ownership of. But an easier one to understand. If you buy a home that has oil heat, there will be oil left in the oil tank. That will be measured right before the closing, and you will reimburse the seller for the market value of the oil that's in the tank that they paid for ahead of time. Now, occasionally this works the other way around. Suppose you are buying in a town in which you pay your property taxes for the 6 months preceding the date in which you paid them. In that case, when you next pay the property taxes, you will be paying for part of the time that the seller still owned the property. At the closing, the seller will have to reimburse you for the taxes you are about to pay on their behalf when the time comes. So sometimes this closing costs there's a minus to them for money that the seller actually owes to you. Your property taxes are paid usually as part of your mortgage payment. The lender will require that you pay in advance for a year's worth, generally speaking, a year's worth of property taxes ahead of time to get that amount into escrow so that the lender will have enough to pay the taxes when the time comes. I think we talked about most of the things. Title insurance. Yeah, some of these are things which, for the best explanation, you're going to want to talk to your closing attorney about this. But in short, title insurance means that even though your attorney did a title search for you to make sure that the title is free and clear, that there are no debts that the seller owes that the property is the collateral for, that somehow you're going to become responsible for. But just in case anything has slipped by, the title insurance makes sure that you are covered if anything like that should jump up in the future that interferes with your right to own the property. So they're the best person to talk to about closing costs and how they all play out is a combination of your closing attorney and your lender, because that's where those closing costs arise, and they'll give you a good idea. But if you estimate that the closing costs are going to be about 1.5% of the purchase price of the property, that'll at least give you a very rough idea so you won't be completely surprised when you find out what the actual number is. For more information or for referral to an attorney to whom you can talk to about these things, or a lender who you can talk to about it free of charge, just email me at realtormargaret@bhhsne.com, and I'll be happy to help you out. I look forward to communicating with you.